weekend of football as we get inching to the last few weeks of the regular season, inching up to the playoffs as the playoff picture starts to become a little bit more clear. And I'm going to get right into it. So the Los Angeles Rams somehow, some way, leak information that they have given Jeff Fisher a contract extension. Okay. Now I see people all over the media making excuses about how this deal was on the table. This deal was on the table in the summertime. That this isn't anything new. This is something that they had sitting on the table in the summer and just hadn't gotten the job done and gotten things, I's dotted, T's crossed, etc. Now they didn't want Jeff Fisher to go into next season as a lame duck coach. Really? Really? Because this team has been an epic failure and an utter disaster. Very tough to watch. Offensively, just tough to watch. Okay? And you want to say, well, we don't want him to go in. We're not judging him off of this year. It has nothing to do with this year. You're right. It doesn't. You don't need to go off of this year. Les Snead needs to go and fire himself, first off. Second of all, I don't care if this was on the table during the summertime. There's no way on God's green earth that a deal should have been on the table in the summertime anyway. Do we need to go back to Jeff Fisher's history? 15 losing seasons, ladies and gentlemen. 15. This one, if they lose this weekend, will make the 6th season of mediocrity. What, the other 5 wasn't enough? I mean, seriously. That you were that dumb to put a deal on the table because you didn't want him to have be a lame duck coach. Oh, and I've been hearing, he's handled the move so well. Man, I'm in the wrong business. Because I didn't know that it was okay to be epically mediocre and still keep your job. Now, yes, we are all very aware that contract extensions mean nothing. Dude could get fired over the summer easily. Easily. Nothing's guaranteed. But that's not the point. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if there's any minority coach in the NFL that has produced the crap that he's produced, especially in the last 5 to 6 seasons, they wouldn't even make it to 5 to 6 seasons. Now, I know people want to talk about the nepotism with his agent being father to the COO. I don't care about that. Any smart businessman totally understands smart business decisions. I mean, do we have to go back to the RG3 trade where they got a dump truck load of picks? A dump truck load. Daniel Snyder did everything but sign over his firstborn for Robert Griffin III, and yet the Washington Redskins are better now than the Los Angeles Rams, a.k.a. St. Louis Rams. And this guy, you don't want to be a lame duck coach. Does that garbage that's been put on the field and the losing seasons is not enough for him to be a lame duck coach? I mean, the fans aren't happy about it. And then you want to throw out these bogus cockamamie excuses? Come on, son. I mean, really? Look, you move to LA and you better produce. Things will have to change because If you're not playing well, there's plenty to do in LA. They don't need to come see your garbage dump team on the field. Which means it'll be a total waste that a team was moved out there so it can epically fail and tank. But there's no excuse for this team to be in this predicament at this time. With all the picks that they've had over the years. In the West, mind you, they should be quite competitive. And they're embarrassing. And the guy responsible gets a contract extension because he's had good behavior. Very interesting. I must be in the wrong business, and so must you, because I'm telling you, any of us producing that kind of mediocrity, and it's a big fat, you're fired, is what happens. Unbelievable. On to bigger and better things, though. I wrote an article last week talking about, are the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl contenders? And you can find my work on sportsjourney.com. That's sportsjourney.com. And a lot of people laughed at that. Some Kansas City fans, I totally understand. You know, you're kind of jaded. It seems like they look good in the regular season and they can't seem to muster up, playoff wins and really get over the hump against the better teams. But Andy Reid has done a quite phenomenal job over the last 4 seasons as the Kansas City Chiefs coach. 11-5. He has 3 playoff wins actually in Kansas City. 9-7 the next year, 11-5, and now they're 9-3. And if the playoffs were to end today, they are the number 6 seed. The number 6 seed in the AFC. Now, I know, I've said it before, this team there's no fanfare. There's no spectacular way of winning. They just go out there. I call them the lunch pail kids. They bring their lunch pails to work. They grind it out, and they get the job done. Now, like I said, in this article, the Atlanta Falcons defense, as of that time, gave up 27.5 points per game, 27th in the league. Now, I know it was a return for a touchdown by Barry that really helped catapult this team over the top. I get that. But what does that song say? All they do is win, 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 no matter what. Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing. They're winning ball games. And Alex Smith, the game manager, whatever you want to call him, has played phenomenal in these last 3 or 4 games, especially in the second half. He has done an excellent job of orchestrating drives, keeping his team alive in ball games, and really simply not turning the ball over too much. He's got 4 interceptions this year, ladies and gentlemen. 4 interceptions this year. Quarterback rating 67.4%. Not bad. Not bad at all. And he was 21 of 25. 207 and a touchdown. You gotta like that. Last week he was 26 of 44. He was 59%, 220. Didn't have the best game, but he made it happen and went and took that game against the Denver Broncos in overtime to win that game. He went out and won it. And many times we talk about Alex Smith, it's, well, he never really wins games. Well, he took that game. He took that game in Denver. And he's put up pretty good numbers, had pretty decent performances I would say probably we'd say 4 out of the last 5 games. But they should be considered contenders. No one's saying that they're winning the Super Bowl here. No one's saying that. But when you look across the spectrum of the teams that are at the top of their division, the Oakland Raiders, the New England Patriots, the Denver Broncos, who they've already beat, and that's just in the AFC. Then we talk about the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, the Seattle Seahawks, and look out, guys, but the Detroit Lions. Okay? These are teams that when you think about them, they have flaws. Every one of those teams has flaws and can be beat. Now, I understand. Dallas Cowboys fans, they're on a roll. 11 straight wins. Great. Want me to clap? Okay, great. Pat yourself on the back. But playoff football is totally different. And that does not mean that they cannot be beat. It's any given Sunday. You know, I heard today, and I agree 100%, the NFL has grasped the parity that they wanted in this whole free agency deal and several other ways that they go about, teams and the league. Is great parity. You have the 4-12 Cowboys last year who were in the dumpster. And in a blink of an eye, you're looking at a team that's 11-1. That's good stuff. Quite frankly, I think in some ways they lucked up on it, especially at the quarterback position. Anybody who tells me that that was a design pick, Prescott, you're lying. And you're a huge homer. But here we are. Here we are. But definitely the Kansas City Chiefs deserve to be in that conversation, especially with what they put together over the last few weeks. And the fact that they are really they're not doing it conventionally like every other team is. But they are going out, they are grinding hard, they are winning football games, taking their lunch pails to work, and getting the job done. Can't argue with that at all. You look at their games down the stretch. They're going to have to play Oakland again, but it's going to be in Kansas City on Thursday night. It's kind of favorable for them. We know that the home team has been the most successful, and Oakland's defense has been up and down. It's not very consistent, but they do get the job done. You can't let this team offensively hang around. We're going to see how this is going to work out. It's going to be a battle on Thursday night. Could be one of the better Thursday night football games we've had over the season. And then they play the Tennessee Titans. Not a scary team, not a team that you can just roll the helmets out and think that you're going to win, but they're going to have to come out and play sound football. Mariota's playing very well. They have a really decent combination with the run game, and they find ways to get it done. Then they're going to play Denver again. And then it'll be the San Diego Chargers to finish up the season. So they're going to have to play their division foes one more time. That's going to be key. Now, they're 3-0 in as far as the record in division goes. So right now, if there's any ties, any tie breakers, they're going to win. And if they can beat their division rivals, well, guess what? That's going to vote well for them. Could put them in the running to possibly being the division winner. But I still think that's going to be Oakland. But they definitely should be considered as Super Bowl contenders when it comes to that. Now we have the Monday Night Football game, and we'll get into that. We're not going to talk about it too much, but enjoy the Monday Night Football game. I will not be watching that. Sorry. I think I'll just catch the highlights. Indy and Indy and the Jets. It's going to be Indy. If the Jets win, it'll be spite of whatever. I just not an interesting game, just like last Sunday night's game was not interesting At all. At all. Well, thank you for listening, folks. If you want to get at me, want to submit a question, want to talk about playoff football, if, ands, and buts about that, you can hit me up on Twitter at NotBland21. If you don't do the Twitter thing, we have an email address for you. That is straightshootingst@gmail.com. That's straightshootingst@gmail.com. And as always, we appreciate you listening to the show. If you have iTunes, search for it. You can find it on the Sports Journey homepage. Click it, subscribe to it, and you can take this show wherever you want, listen to it whenever you want, and even re-listen to it. So we thank you so much. You guys enjoy Monday Night Football. If you're not going to be doing that, whatever you're going to be doing, enjoy it. And we will talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah! Crab cake and football! That's what Maryland does!